In this video, we will look on all questions which are related to this and context inside JavaScript. And you might guess some question like this: what will be logged here? And the first task that you are getting, you have a function with function keyword, this is important, and now inside we are just writing console log this, and now we are calling getItem. So the question is what we will see inside our console log. And actually in browser you can see that we are seeing window, and you might think, okay, inside functions this is always referencing window, but this is not correct. Inside functions this is referencing the global object. It may be window, it may be undefined, it may be something else, it all depends on the context. But if you define a function keyword directly in JavaScript code without any nesting, it will be window. Now you are getting question number 2, what will be logged in this case? As you can see here, we have an object item with title and getItem method, and inside getItem method we are console logging this. And here we are calling item.getItem. And in the case with objects, when we have methods inside objects, we are always referencing this object. This means when we are reloading the page, we are getting this, and this is our object with title and getItem. In this case, we can use all properties inside our object because they are available for us inside this. So when we are talking about objects, this always references our object. So here is our task number 3, what will be logged in this case. As you can see here, we have not an object but a class, and we also have inside a title and getItem method, and we also have this inside. Now we are creating the instance of our class, and we call a getItem method from our instance. This is important to remember that inside methods, in our class, when we have an instance, we have a reference to our instance. As you can see in browser, here we have this, and we can see this word item. This actually means that this object is an instance of our item class. And inside we have our title ball, so we can use all properties of this instance inside this. But now we are getting a question: what will happen if we will pack a function inside our method? So actually what we are writing here is function, for example, some function, and inside we are writing this console log. And after this we are just calling our some function, which actually means we define the function with function keyword inside our method, and we are calling it here directly. The question is what will be console logged inside this? As you can see in browser, this is undefined, because as I said, inside functions we are not referencing window, but we are referencing global object. And actually window keyword always is referencing global object, so in this case it will never reference our instance, and this is important to remember, which means if you have a function inside your class, this inside won't be correct, it won't be referencing our instance of the class, and we can't use properties of it. And exactly the same problem you will have not just with defining the function like this, but if you are writing, for example, a map for array inside your getItem, and here you have a function for every single item. Now, if we will write console log this inside, it will also be not correct. As you can see in browser, I'm reloading page, we are getting undefined 3 times, because here we are using function keyword, and inside function it is referencing undefined. So both these variants are problematic, and now the question is how we can fix it and get the reference to our this. And we have 2 solutions for this. First of all, solution which is older, and it is also used when we are building JavaScript to older version. For this we can simply define before this, for example with underscore, and we are assigning here reference to our this. And this will be correct because we are inside our method. Now we can console log here not this, because here the reference is wrong, but this with underscore. And here we have another reference. Now let's reload the page. As you can see, we have a correct reference to our instance of our item. So this is typically older approach, and it is used in the build step of JavaScript. The better approach will be to use an arrow function here instead of function keyword. So we can simply use here arrow function from ECMAScript 6, and now when we are console logging inside our this, it will have the correct reference. As you can see, the result is exactly the same because arrow function is getting the context of our parent, which actually means from here we are getting context that we have inside getItem. And here we have a reference to our instance. This is why I highly recommend you to always use arrow functions and not function keywords, and then you won't have any problems with context. So to sum this up, inside function keyword you always have a reference to a global object, inside objects you have a reference to the object itself, inside classes you have a reference to instance of the class, and inside function, inside for example method or directly inside class, it will be referenced undefined.